Good morning to you, Amanda. The president taking to Twitter, clearly undercutting just how serious these charges are, while again looking to shift the focus back to his former opponent, Hillary Clinton. But as this storm continues to track west, Georgia's coastline is reducing the number of mandatory evacuations. Some families here believing they may have dodged a bullet. In fact, look at this right here, okay? We're going to walk over and show you the roots of the tree. And to give you just an idea of how powerful this storm was, I'm about 6 feet tall. Look at how high this thing goes, right? I can see a large crowd off in the distance. Okay, as far as we can see protesters in the middle of William Street, some of them running to the crowd right now. This is all in the last 10-15 minutes. You know, Kim, looking at his medical records, you'd think this doctor has a squeaky clean past tonight. He is being linked to dozens of deaths. In fact, federal agents earlier tonight came to his Jonesboro office tonight. It's all locked up. The Chattanooga Recruitment Center behind us, where he first came and opened fire, we found about 50 bullet holes in the front window. Fulton County Police say at least 30 homes overnight were hit with spray paint. They're working to try and track down the stolen memorabilia. After all, it might be their only hope to getting it back. I mean, look at this parking lot that we're standing in right now. It almost looks like it's a river. Take, for example, Adamsville. The district says there are 381 students enrolled. You know, the Braves are really swinging for the fences with their new stadium here in Cobb County. The value of these stolen comic books, we're talking upwards of $250,000, $250,000. He crawled right through the doggy door. Good Monday morning to everyone. It's Adam Harding here on some major breaking news that you're going to want to know about. It's your Monday morning commute will be crippled today from a chemical spill on the downtown connector. It almost looks like a war zone out here, doesn't it? Experts say it's sites like this that are becoming far too common all around the world.
Adam, this fellow wasn't on any kind of law enforcement radar?
Not on a radar, not on any police watch list, no extensive criminal record for the suspect. We have been in touch all night with Atlanta police. They confirmed to us that they're monitoring the situation out of Manhattan. And a source confirms to CBS News that the suspect left a note behind at the scene in New York referencing ISIS.
We got multiple casualties. This is a mass casualty situation here.
Witnesses capturing a glimpse of the suspect running in front of traffic carrying what police are calling a paintball gun following the deadliest terror attack in New York since 9/11.
And I see two gentlemen laying right there in the bike lane with tire marks across their body, and you could tell that they're not here no more.
8 killed Tuesday, a dozen more injured after police say they were run down by this rented Home Depot truck along a bike path in Manhattan's Lower West Side.
It happened out of nowhere. I was walking down the street. It was a normal day, and just out of nowhere, I see people running and screaming.
The dead and injured were just going about their days, heading home from work or from school, or enjoying the afternoon sun on bicycles. This is a tragedy of the greatest magnitude.
The suspect, identified as 29-year-old Sayfullo Saipov. He reportedly entered the U.S. in 2010 from Uzbekistan. He has ties to both Florida and New Jersey.
Based on the information we have at this moment, this was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
The president tweeting, "I have just ordered Homeland Security to step up our already extreme vetting program. Being politically correct is fine, but not for this."
The new terrorist tactic, which they've called for publicly, are these lone wolves who commit an act of terror. This is all very preliminary. It's only been a couple of hours, but at this point there's no evidence to suggest a wider plot or a wider scheme.
Tuesday's attack coming only hours before a large Halloween celebration. The rampage coming to an end not far from the World Trade Center Memorial.
We have been tested before as a city very near the site of today's tragedy, and New Yorkers do not give in the face of these kinds of actions.
Now, police shot the suspect after the entire incident this morning. He is out of surgery and under close guard at a nearby hospital. It's the kind of Georgia small town where you just know everyone. And at the tiny home, welcoming you to Grammy and Pops.
Let me share with you. My Bible is marked up.
There's a local pastor turning heads. Meet Horace Sheffield.
I'm an ordained Baptist preacher.
Who at 88 just graduated college for the first time.
I walked on the stage, I got a standing ovation. You just have to be there.
Horace finished high school in the 40s. He tried college in the 60s, but life got in the way.
There me and her are up there.
He was married young and gave everything he had to his wife, Bernice.
We were married 68 years. She had Alzheimer's. I was pastor of Fredonia Congregationalist Church. I resigned to take care of my wife.
He lost her 5 years ago and turned to the only thing he knew, his faith.
And I read a section out of each day. We might have a personal relationship with him.
Which, wouldn't you know, is what brought the two together all those years ago.
Here's a woman that turned me down to go to a movie, turned me down to go to a ball game, but she went with me to church.
Horace still preaches at the local church, and 2 years ago, he had an idea. He wanted to finally finish his college degree and get it in religion. It just seemed to make sense.
A piece of paper didn't mean that much to me back then. But when I started this last time, I started with determination of getting my diploma, and I've got it.
Here's the catch. He did it all online, because why make things easy?
Had you ever used a computer before signing up for the online class?
No.
You never used a computer?
No, and I still haven't.
He wrote or scribbled every paper by hand.
A lot of my papers was past experiences.
Jesus willingly submitted.
And his neighbor graciously typed it all out for him to turn in.
When he approached me about going back to school, I thought I could do no less.
Amanda Brannock didn't finish college either, but she saw it as a chance to help and to learn.
It was all worth it. I'm happy.
It made me feel good. I'd accomplished something.
The two now share this really unique bond.
And thank you is not enough.
And as he nears 89, that may be as important to Horace as this piece of paper that shows he's a college graduate.
It's wonderful to have God and know that God is the God of all comfort.
I'm Adam Harding, CBS 46 News.
Amen. Right now, Wendy.
And Ben, good evening to you. It's getting dark now, but if you can believe it, it was a really nice day here in Blue Ridge. Finally, some blue skies, a relief from the gray, overcast, and hazy days they've had for weeks now. But despite even that, businesses here were left wondering, where are all the customers?
This is like peak tourist season.
In downtown Blue Ridge.
It's so beautiful today, so I came out. She has nice stuff.
Holly Faye has to wear a mask just to walk around.
Even doing small things like walking up here, see, I'm short of breath. And it's like having some pressures on your chest all the time.
The reason? The Rough Ridge fire is growing. 25,000 acres now, and air quality here is declining.
Steel rails, chasing sunshine round the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind.
Louisa Branscon can only sing for better weather.
I love North Georgia. I'm here because of the natural beauty, and we're losing a lot of acreage.
At the local seed shop,
ordinarily the street is full.
It's not the birds Tom Stryker's looking for. It's the customers.
This is what we've been looking at. It's been lonely time in the store here.
Business here is slow.
We're down, I don't know, 25, 30% probably from what's normal for November.
This is just sad. It's very, very sad. And you worry about the rest of the business owners in town aren't making it. I have to have this, right?
Shoppers like Karen Cisco can see the streets aren't packed.
Is it me?
These two southern gals know things are getting bad.
Devastating, actually. We've been trying to pray for rain, and there's no relief in sight.
I used to be young when I did this.
The Johnsons are setting up for the holidays.
We've been doing it for 16 years, so we ought to be professionals at it.
They're hoping the decorations will light up the registers.
I figured with the holidays and all, it would be more crowded today, but it's not. Everybody's staying inside.
Sharon and Ben, they say everything is all about timing, and it couldn't be worse timing for people here. Next week is supposed to be the busiest week as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday and then Black Friday to kick off the holiday shopping season. And everybody here is saying if they can't get some customers right away, at least They're hoping to see a little rain, but it is not in the forecast. Tonight, we're live in Blue Ridge. I'm Adam Harding, CBS 46 News.
Making me 911. What is your emergency?
This is the call for help.
It's a girl on live on Facebook, has a bag over her head, is inside the tub, is trying to commit suicide or something.
In the past month in this city of Macon.
Yes, she's at her home or somewhere, and these people watching her live video is going up. Is at 35 now.
The haunting reality for one mother.
Why didn't I see the signs?
Whose identity we're protecting.
My greatest fear is for me to bury any of my children before me.
Her 15-year-old daughter live streaming on Facebook her attempted suicide. The report from police: she took a lot of pills, put a plastic bag over her head, then hit record online.
She felt like she didn't have any friends. She was like, everybody picked on her. Everybody wanted to fight her. It was one thing after another.
This is my passion.
She survived after Captain Shermaine Jones and his team of deputies scoured the city, searching for the home where the teen was live streaming from.
Lucky for us at that point, the people that recognized who she was and was calling was given addresses that they knew of. So once they started that process, we just started sending deputies to different addresses trying to figure out which one is the exact address. So
Jones says the teen stayed online for nearly an hour.
Time is precious at that point. She was in a pretty critical condition. Thank the Lord we were able to find her when we did.
It's a difficult conversation the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is now asking we all have.
It's never too soon to talk about suicide.
Special Agent Trebor Randall's focus is on child deaths.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids ages 15 to 17.
And the GBI's latest numbers, child suicides across Georgia appear to be on the rise, with an all-time high of 51 in 2015.
And there's no one particular reason why. We no longer call it teen suicide awareness because our children as young as 8, 9, and 10 are committing suicide now.
This year alone, 18 kids have taken their own lives, 14 in the last 2 months.
And so they drive you to kill yourself. And sooner or later,
the topic gaining national attention with the recent TV series 13 Reasons Why, a show documenting the events leading up to a teen suicide. It's prompted some metro school districts to send warning letters to parents urging students to not watch it alone.
I was crying out for help.
The GBI says they have no data linking any recent youth suicide to the show.
This is a conversation that definitely needs to be had.
This year, agents are now partnering with teachers to let them know it's okay to talk about this.
How else do you make the community aware of why our children are dying if you're not talking about it?
And on these city streets,
a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I do.
One family is already beginning the dialogue.
This is nothing that we can run from. It can happen to anyone.
Netflix, we should mention, told me that they'll be changing how they warn their viewers about that show 13 Reasons Why. They hope it creates a conversation.
I'm the one that found him. The door was locked. He was unresponsive, wouldn't come to the door. I busted out that window. I opened the curtains and I found him face down on the bed. He was purple and blue. There wasn't no hope.
When I saw her, she wasn't herself.
He told me that my dad was dead. I just dropped the phone and hollered for my mom. Oh my God, he's gone.
There is one man, these three families say, links them all together. Dr. Narendra Nagareddy, a Jonesboro psychiatrist recently arrested.
She liked him, but she just didn't feel comfortable with what he was giving her. And I was saying, take it, maybe you'll feel better.
We were there as federal agents raided his Clayton County office. They moved in and shut him down, accusing the doctor of unlawfully prescribing medication. Investigators tell us 36 of his patients have died in a 5-year span.
This says 36 people died, 12 of them overdose deaths.
In a CBS 46 exclusive, we tracked down the doctor to a Henry County home. A grand jury could soon hear his case. Right now, he is only facing 1 felony charge.
Were you running a pill mill?
No, sir, not at all.
So why can't you explain that to me then?
Let me talk to my lawyer, sir.
His lawyer hasn't agreed to talk to me. The doctor tried hiding behind his door.
I'll explain to you, sir. I'm a honest man. I look after all the
severely mentally ill patients. Please understand, sir.
But court records allege he wasn't at all taking care of his patients properly. Many, we found in these documents, received minimal examination, evaluation, or testing. Yet the doctor regularly prescribed excessive amounts of controlled substances for no legitimate medical purpose.
I think these patients had an addiction. I think Dr. Nagaredi enabled their addiction.
Michael Robinson still lives across the street from the home where he found his dad David dead from an overdose.
Hell, I miss him every day. It's my dad. I'm only 31 years old.
According to this newly released search warrant, family members told investigators David had a history of prescription drug abuse. But records show at least 24 times in a 13-month span he got his hands on medication, including a bottle of 90 anxiety pills just 4 days before his death.
You know, if he wasn't prescribed all them meds, then yeah, he'd still be alive today.
And this is what I haven't thrown away.
Georgette Mahey tells me she met the doctor several times. She doesn't blame him for the death of her diabetic daughter, but says she's still asking why he kept prescribing so much medication. In fact, here's a bottle she still has full of pills.
And her and her brother.
Latricia Mahey died 9 months ago,
Her and her daughter look so much alike.
leaving Georgette to raise a granddaughter all on her own.
I'll be 65 in a couple of months. I didn't think I would have a teenager.
He was taking a lot of medication.
And then there's Shonda Witten. This is the last photo ever taken of her dad. It was also the last time she ever saw him. Roy Denson is one of the 36 names we found listed in these court records.
He said that he wished he could have been a dad, but all he knew how to do was be a friend, and that he would always be my friend.
They're all part of a case police say is unlike any other in the state's history.
And it was so egregious, instead of receiving help, it appears that some of them were receiving a death sentence.
Clayton County's police chief helped oversee Nagaredi's arrest earlier this year.
Of course, Clayton County is a better place now that Dr. Nagaredi is off the street.
It is the latest bust in a statewide crackdown on these so-called pill mills, where patients allege they have easy access to pain meds not because they need them, but because they want them.
The top 4 causes of overdose drugs in our state are Oxycontin, methadone, Xanax, and hydrocodone.
And that's all stuff you can get
through pain clinics.
It's why the Attorney General fought for tougher laws and recently helped pass new legislation requiring all pain clinics to be licensed with the state. They have to be owned by doctors or hospitals, and not a single employee can have a criminal record.
How many suspected pill mills would you say your office is investigating right now?
Candidly, that's not public information. I will tell you it's less than it was before passage of the pill mill bill.
The law doesn't say a doctor has to stop prescribing medicine just because someone has a drug problem.
Defense attorneys warn of a legal gray zone, a sort of protection or buffer for doctors. Despite the high number of deaths, Dr. Nagaredi isn't facing murder charges.
They either have to show that the doctor intentionally killed the patient, or they need to show that the doctor's writing of the prescriptions was so reckless, so negligent, that it was foreseeable that it would lead to someone's death.
Our own investigation found Dr. Nagaredi had a squeaky clean record with the state medical board. It has left these families asking, how could this have happened? And what is proper justice? As we continue to learn more about the 36 patients named in this investigation, the doctor's future is uncertain. Despite repeated attempts for comment, his attorney contacted me just one time. It was a text message telling me to stay away from his client's property. Tonight, we know Dr. Nagaredi's medical license has been suspended. We will keep digging. I'm Adam Harding, CBS 46 News Night Team.